All right, Coach Maurer, welcome back to the venue. Congrats on the win. Just how's it feel to open up home conference play with a win over Oklahoma tonight?
It's great. I think I talked about this last week where there's so many firsts, and it's first conference match, first home conference match in the Big 12. First of this era and whatnot. And so we're staying focused, and I'm really proud of the team for staying focused on, it's another volleyball match. Yes, I understand it has significance, but the court's the same size, the net's the same height, and we're just here to win a volleyball match, no matter what, and that's our intent. We study the team, and I think our team was so well prepared. And props to my both of my assistants, but also the team for really embracing what this team was going to throw at us, and we did a good job of slowing them down.
You ladies really came out swinging that right away against the Sooners. 6-11 hitting percentage in that first set. Just talk about just how big that start was for you guys.
Well, it was big, and I'm not going to take away from that at all. We knew we needed to be aggressive from the get-go. We knew that there was not going to be an easy day. We knew that just because they had lost 3 of their last 4 matches, they played 2 of them against last year's national champ. So we knew they were a talented team, and we weren't going to, go passively into a win. We had to come out firing, so that's what we did.
So they ended up battling back in that third set. Just take me through that, and what do you think happened in that third set that kind of kept things close there at the end?
Well, I think sweeps are hard to do. I mean, the fact that we held them to 27 kills, they're averaging almost 14 kills a set, so to hold them to 9, and to keep most of their players, they were averaging over 250, 280, I believe it was, a set. Or a match, and on the season, and we held them to 0.77. So they didn't have the normal contributions or the normal performance that they were used to. So, but we knew they weren't going to go away, so we had to stay steady on our defense.
Ava leading the way with kills. Now that we've gotten into conference play, how much has Ava developed since the start of the season, being a true freshman?
Yeah, she is growing leaps and bounds every day. She's taking it in. I've mentioned before, she's such a learner, and she just embraces that. And trying to maintain that balance of being tough on yourself, that's okay. That's what high achievers do. But knowing that this is all still so new to her, we have to kind of keep that in mind, because she doesn't let that be an excuse. But yeah, I think her poise has just continued to grow. She's always, gone after it, but at the same time, there's some freshman errors here and there, but she really stays steady and kind of takes it all in, and we were able to get her back in the positive towards the end of the match, because we weren't going to go away from her. We trust her.
Is that same with Abby Chalmers?
I was going to say, yeah, absolutely. which Abby? So we have a very veteran Abby, and then a young captain of our offense, right, Abby Shomers, and she just did such a great job in her decision making, her execution tonight, and again, we see her growing in every match.
So Emily Wilson picking up three block solos tonight and leading the team in digs. Can you just talk about how because I know obviously big outside hitter, big offensive force, but really showed off her defensive props tonight.
Yeah, I love the fact that we can keep our offense spread. She didn't have, what did she end up with? 12 attempts on the night, but was very efficient with those, and really got to shine in the other parts of her game. But we've always trusted her. I was fine with Oklahoma. She was fine with Oklahoma going after her on the serve, because she's a 6 rotation player. She has the ball control. So that's a big reason she's a 6 rotation player. So we were totally comfortable with that, and it allowed us to, show off her talent.
Perfect. Congrats on the win again. Quick question. What were some of the goals heading into your first season as head coach here?
Well, I think, I've been such an integral part of developing the team culture and team identity. It was Coach Dagenet's team, but at the end of the day, I was the recruiting coordinator, right? So bringing in those players that would fit with UCF Volleyball. So in so many ways, wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel or change everything drastically, because we had a good thing going, right? So, of course, adding my own nuance as a head coach, but at the same time, keeping those values, keeping those ideals and what we stood for, and so making sure that we maintained that level of expectation, level of excellence, and with, again, putting my own personal touch on it.
And going back to Shomers, did you expect her to be a ranked player in college volleyball?
To be a what, I'm sorry?
Ranked player. She's ranked and she leads the country in assists. Did you expect that, or did that all develop as the season went on?
Well, I don't know that we go in with a statistical, ranking in mind or expectation, but at the same time, she's run the show for a nationally ranked high school program. She was developed by a fantastic coach at both club and high school for that matter. And so it didn't surprise us. And she learned under Amber Olson, who was a 2-time setter of the year. So she's had her own, success in the past. And then she's also learned while she's been here and got her feet wet on our court in the springtime and throughout her Europe trip. So I think I'm not surprised. I don't think we had, a number in mind necessarily, but yeah, we were confident coming in that she was going to be able to handle the reins.
Okay.
So you come back to the venue after 19 days away, including the Boilermaker Challenge where you had that reverse sweep against Illinois and facing a ranked team in Purdue. So what was it like to go up against that Big Ten competition, and what would you say your team learned from that experience?
Well, it was great. I think our team thrives off of competition. We battle each other day in and day out, so we're just excited to see somebody else throw little different wrenches that we haven't seen yet. But the level of intensity, the sense of urgency, I think, we learned that there's no plays that you can take off. I mean, not that we ever go in trying that, but the level of talent is just pretty deep in that conference, and we knew that to expect that in the Big 12 as well. So I think for us, it was really getting us battle tested. You better. No matter what happened the day before, you better refocus and lock in. Now, granted, we're going to see on back-to-back days the same team, but they're going to make adjustments. So it's no different than playing a different team, right, who throws different things at you. We have to be ready for it. And I think that was, for us, it showed us how dialed in we have to be day in and day out in practice. And again, I see our players really growing up with how much they're studying opponents.
So one of the most notable changes that has kind of occurred between the 19 days ago and now is that video board that was announced back in April is now back up there. What has it been like seeing the venue sort of evolve last season? Now that you in this first season as head coach, because the before and after I've been kind of looking at it, it's kind of been drastic.
Yeah, and we've been a part of it all. Funny you mention that because it's been happening while we're practicing, right? So there's lights, there's hammers, there's drills, there's all sorts of things. There's workers on forklifts and things happening all around us. And honestly, it's been a challenge for us. But it's one that no different than a loud crowd in a timeout when you can't even hear yourself think, much less talk. And our team has to learn to be adaptable. So for us, it's been great that, it feels extra special that all these changes are coming to our home venue. But, at the end of the day, it's really about the crowd and the people and the vibe that we have going on in there. And so we're super excited. We love all the bells and whistles, but it's really about the crowd getting into it. We love the noise, for sure.
This weekend.
Last question.
This weekend is the first time you're facing you faced Cincy last year, but you have a new conference opponent, Oklahoma. You got to face them again tomorrow. Mm-hmm. What do you want your team to take from tonight into tomorrow?
Well, I think we'd be foolish to think that they're going to make 14 service errors again. So we know that they're going to be gunning at us. They have a lot of talented athletes. We just have to be ready to maintain our level of game and execution, and make sure that if they're making errors, of course, to stay out of the way on that and not try to overplay and stay really disciplined. But we fully expect that they'll probably be cutting down on some of those errors. So there's no gimmies. We've got to be able to stay in the moment like we did this year or tonight.
All right, awesome. Best of luck, Coach.
Thank you.